it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets, and I'm here today with a 2-for-1 card video. So I'm going to show you how to use identical bases and decorate them differently so you can get two completely different looks out of the same card base, but it's also going to be a huge time saver for you because when I make my cards, I usually like to make 3 or 4 at the same time. And what I'll do is I will multitask. I'll do all of one step and then I'll move into the next one. And then I will do my card bases and then I'll decorate them. This happens to come in handy at a time like Christmas where you need to make a ton of cards, but you want to make special ones for certain people. So you want to keep it easy on yourself, but you want to make them a little bit different for each person. So this is a great way to do it. So the card bases are going to be exactly the same. You see these exact same card bases. So they are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and they're cut out of Recollections red cardstock. I just cut them down the center and then folded them to make the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card bases. And then I took some black Recollections cardstock and cut it down to 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card base, and then 1/8 of an inch smaller is the white cardstock from the black layer. And I did that, and then I ran the white cardstock through the Cuttlebug with the Doris heart folder. Now this has a bunch of hearts on it with little lines in between the hearts, so I thought it was cute. It's actually 3 little dots, so I thought it gave it a little bit of texture. So then I glued all 3 pieces together. I would have done it on camera, not that you guys don't know how to do it, but my ATG gun has been acting up lately and it doesn't always roll out very nicely, so I had a little bit of a difficult time doing that. But I got all the bases attached, and now I wanted to start making my cards. So the first one that I wanted to do is a cute, fun one for little kids. I just thought it would be absolutely adorable. So I took the stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. It's called Chalkboard Love, and there's a really, really nice chalkboard heart in there. If you look at it, it's the heart, and then you can see the little white lines in it. So I took some Hero Art Shadow ink in Red Royal, and I stamped that onto a piece of white cardstock, and I actually did it 3 times, and I got this heart. So I don't have a die that cuts it out, but it was really easy to go around the edges. And if you notice, there's some red along the, or some white along the edges because it's kind of a jagged edge heart, so you can't cut it straight. It's like at the top here, there's some white. One thing that you can do if that really bothers you, you can go around the edges of it with this is like a little sponge dauber that you can put on your finger, dip it into the red ink, same ink that you used, and then go around the edges with that. I didn't because it doesn't bother me. Another thing that you can do if you had a black line around it, or if you wanted a black line around it, take a marker and then just go around the edges. If you have a red marker that looks close enough to this, you can do that as well. So that'll kind of get rid of the white core for the cardstock. Even if you have double-sided paper and there's a white core, you can always do that. Just gives it a little nice finishing touch. So then the next thing that I did was I took these heart glasses from Simon Says Stamp Objects of Love, and these little heart sunglasses here. And I used some My Favorite Things. This is the black licorice ink. Just inked up my stamp. And turn my heart around. And I just kind of put the glasses on there. So, they stamp very nicely. I like the way that My Favorite Things ink stamps. So you have a nice, cute little heart there. So, the sentiment I found from the Lawn Fawn stamp set, and this one is Science of Love, and it's called I Only Have Eyes for You. This is what the stamp set looks like. It's just a long sentiment. So I cut out some cardstock in white, black, and red. So I did the same kind of layers that were on the card base and in the same order. And I also stamped the sentiment in the same shadow ink in Red Royal. So I stamped that out. The Lawn Fawn stamps stamp very nicely. Simon Says Stamp. Simon Says Stamp stamps very well as well. That was a mouthful. So I want the sentiment down at the bottom, but then I want the heart kind of floating at the top. But I thought that looked a little bit too plain. So if you look at it here, I don't want to glue anything down yet. But you look at it, it's nice, but it's a little bit plain. So I thought that since it was going to be kind of for a kid's card, I wanted to use the wiggle eyes. Well, what Hobby Lobby calls wiggle eyes, googly eyes, whatever you want to call them. So I took these and I measured first to make sure that the eyes will look right in there. And they do. They're pretty much the perfect size for the middle of that, because I thought that would also be cute for the kids, because then they can shake the card and the eyes will move around. So I took some glossy accents and I filled in the hearts in the eyes, and then you can also use glossy accents as glue for your heavier embellishments. So then I stuck the eyes in the middle of it. And then I realized that it looked cute, but then the rest of the heart kind of looked dull compared to that. So I went around all of the pieces with some glossy accents. And I'm not so sure that it's dry yet. I'm hoping it is, but I don't think it is. I missed a spot up here. But here's the glossy accent heart. So it just kind of gives it a nice shine to it. So I'm going to put that on here. I have a little piece that I need to fix. And that is going to be the card for the kids. So I thought that was cute, because then you could shake the eyes around and the eyes move. So that's what I do. Normally for the inside of the card, I will put a white mat. So for this one, I'll probably do a black mat, the same size as the black mat that I have on here, maybe a little bit smaller, and then put a white mat on top of it. And I probably will stamp some hearts. I have some hearts from different sentiments in here, so I'll probably find something. I usually like to leave the inside blank, but there's this row of hearts right here. I may stamp that at the bottom. I don't usually like to put sentiments inside if I'm listing them on Etsy, because I let people customize them. So every once in a while I will, but I don't think I'm going to put one on that. So if you go over to my blog, this card will be finished over there. The only reason I didn't finish it is because the glossy accents are not dry. So on to the second card. So this one, the sentiment that I want to use is, it comes from that chalkboard set too, and it says, "My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart." And it has this little chalkboard saying, so it's written in different script. I thought that looked really pretty. So I knew I wanted that pretty much front and center on the card. But when I did that, I couldn't really hold the card this way, so I actually turned it this way. So even though that the supplies are the same and I assembled the card base the same, it's going to look different because the orientation of the card is going to be different to begin with. So the next thing that I did was I needed something for my sentiment to sit on, because since this is embossed, if you stamp on it, you're going to get a really bumpy result. So I wanted something to go on top of it. So I went through my drawer of dies and found these Spellbinders Nestabilities. They are classic scalloped rectangles in large, and there's 5 of them in there. And I used the 3 largest ones. The largest one I cut out of red, the second one I cut out of black, and then that last one I cut out of white. So I used the same red royal ink and stamped out the sentiment. And then I glued all 3 pieces together, so this is what it looks like. And then we're just going to attach them to the front of the card. And that's pretty much it. I think that I may want to add some glossy accents to the hearts, just to kind of keep it tied in with the other card, because I was trying to use a lot of the same supplies on this card that I used on the first card. And since we use glossy accents, thought it would be nice. Or I could fill in the banner with it. Or I could do both. So I think I'm going to try to do the hearts. So the nice thing about the glossy accents is that the tip is pretty fine, and you can actually almost use it like a pencil or a pen and draw on there. And it looks cloudy at first, and then it'll dry with a sheen to it. I'm trying to see if I should do it on. I'm not going to do it on the banner. I don't want to mess it up. So I just drew on the little hearts there. I don't know if you can even see it. I don't know if it's up. So it's going to give it a little bit of a raised effect, and it will give it a little bit of shine. It will almost make it look like an embellishment that you could buy from the store. So I thought that was cute. So there's the a little bit more grown-up card. So both of these will be pictured on my blog, and all of the items used will be listed on there, and all the instructions for everything if you guys want to follow my blog. It's scrapsecrets.wordpress.com, and the link to that will be below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. And I will see you guys again next time. Bye!